I just, well, let's stay on this topic.
Yeah.
It actually ties to, if we talk about software stocks, why I've become more pessimistic since the last show on them. But
Oh no, why have you become more pessimistic?
because we are kind of ahead in this agentic thing, right? At least in the real world. I do talk to lots of teams, lots of senior product teams, lots of COs at massive, more than I ever done in the last 10 years combined. Okay. Every week, multiple Zooms, multiple calls. And there are exceptions for sure. But I would say, here's why I'm pessimistic and why I think that the drawdown is accurate, even though I don't understand the public markets. I think almost everybody's building a 60% solution. And Make is an example. You look what Claude did or prompting did last November, and you've spent the last 4 to 6 months building something that's kind of similar to what these products were like 5 to 6 months ago, but you can't really afford the tokens. You're worried about the cost. You can't build all the features. You're trying to use cheap models to bring costs down. You're trying to limit it, and you end up with Make, but everyone has a Make. Why is Make so crappy? It's because you didn't care enough to spend the money or put the team, and Make is a good copy of Replit or Lovable from last summer. Right? That's what happens. And by the time Make catches up to Replit and Lovable today, and then they decide it's too expensive, and then they decide they have to lock it down because they can't afford the agents and tokens. Now you're 9 months behind and 12 months behind. And so what I mean is, and so it's not just that you have a 60% competitive solution. Here's the meta problem for the incumbents. You can't charge for a 60% solution. Here's the problem. If you could charge 60% of what Claude charges or Legora charged or Replit charged, that'd be great. That's enough to charge 60%. But a 60% product has to be free. It has to be included with your base charge. And while we're recording this, for example, today, HubSpot's launching its next group of AI agents, right? And I'm excited to try them, and I will be supportive. If they're only 60% as good as the standalone solutions, HubSpot cannot really charge for these things. You can't get away with charging another $20,000, $40,000, $60,000 to a HubSpot customer if your agent is fine. It works. Like in isolation, when I meet with internal product teams at large companies at scale, they are so effing proud of themselves. They show me their agent that they built. They show me their vibe coding thing. And if I didn't use any other products, I'd think they were great too. Or if this was 51 weeks ago, I would think these products were great. And they're so insular at their 2,000 person company, in their fancy campus, wherever they are, with their mugs, bringing their mugs to the meetings because at their pace. And they're failing even as they're proud of themselves with their 60% solution because the market will not pay. They will use it. Like they'll use your 60% solution, but they're not going to pay for it. They're not going to pay for it. And so you're stuck in this doom loop of, yes, I have an AI product as a public B2B company, but no one is willing to pay for it for a 60% solution. They're not willing to pay 60%. And so we can say all these companies have moats, and ServiceNow has the biggest moat of all, so it shouldn't be sold off and this and that. But if your agents are only 60% as good, you're in a slow death spiral. And that's what I see. I can't think of maybe 1 or 2 exceptions of everyone at scale where their agents are as good as either a standalone company or just what I can do in Claude. Now, I can't maintain Claude. There's a whole bunch of issues. But if it's only 60% as good, there's no way I'm going to pay this AE that just called me up $100,000 for it. I'm not going to do it. It's not good enough. Checking the box does not work with agents. The check the box feature cannot be monetized in the AI era. And this is why I think they're all properly sold down, because none of them, they all have 60% solutions. All of them. And they should be, it's do or die, guys, because you can't sell these things. You can't sell these things, right? And there's 2 counterexamples. We could argue over Agentforce. And the base 44 Wix one may not save Wix, right? Which has repurchased like 30 or 40% of its company, but at least they made a bet that got them beyond a 60% solution, right? To 9 figures in revenue.
I agree.